60 Minutes Overtime.
This was given to me by Ted Lieu.
This week for 60 Minutes, we sat down with Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. He's the House Minority Leader. He's also the successor to Nancy Pelosi and the first black lawmaker to lead a party in Congress. One of Jeffries' priorities has been providing military and humanitarian aid to Ukraine. And in our conversation, we asked Leader Jeffries about the debate over American financial support for the war-torn country. He told us the impact of Russia's aggression goes far beyond a regional conflict.
We can't let Ukraine fall, because if it does, then there's a significant likelihood that America will have to get into the conflict. Not simply with our money, but with our servicewomen and our servicemen. We can either stop Russia in Ukraine by continuing our military and economic support, or we can face a challenging situation where Vladimir Putin and Russia are able to overrun Ukraine and then threaten NATO allies.
No doubt that that's Putin's goal.
We have no doubt that if Vladimir Putin is successful in Ukraine, he won't stop. Vladimir Putin went into Georgia, but said it was only about Georgia. But he didn't stop in Georgia. Then he went into Crimea. But then it turns out that it wasn't only about Crimea, because he invaded the entirety of Ukraine. Are we to believe that in the face of this kind of consistent aggression, that he's only going to stop in Ukraine? Of course not. Let's not believe his words. Let's believe his deeds. And his deeds suggest that he wants to recreate the Soviet Union. And that means threatening NATO allies, which as a logical consequence will bring American troops into the fight.
On this vote, the ayes are 311 and the nays are 112. The bill is passed.
In April, Congress approved a long-awaited bill to provide $61 billion for Ukraine. It's the first major aid package since December 2022, and it came after months of fighting and deadlock in Congress, driven by Republicans who are divided over foreign aid to Ukraine. All 210 Democrats in the House voted in favor of the bill. We asked Jeffries, what took so long?
There is a growing pro-Putin faction in the Republican Party that does not want to support Ukraine and believes, for some reason, that Russia is not an enemy of the United States of America. I'm not the only one saying it. There are Republican committee chairs, like the Republican chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Republican chair of the Intelligence Committee, who are acknowledging that there's a pro-Putin faction within the Republican Party in the House of Representatives. And they have been the obstacle to stop assistance to Ukraine. And in doing so, are undermining America's national security interests.
That's a serious charge to suggest that Americans, members of Congress, lawmakers, are doing Vladimir Putin's bidding.
There are pro-Putin Republicans led in the Congress by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just check the record. That's the reality of who she is, what she said, and her belief system.
Braun, Budd, Haggerty.
In the Senate, 15 Republicans voted against the bill that included more aid for Ukraine, including the junior senator from Ohio.
Vance.
Republican Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio just wrote an op-ed that's basically saying Ukraine is outmanned, outgunned, and can never win this war, and that the U.S. should directly start negotiating its end with Russia. Your response?
The argument that some of the MAGA extremists are making, which is that the Ukrainian war effort has been a failure, is inconsistent with the facts. We were told in February of 2022 that if Russia invades Ukraine, Ukraine is going to fall in a week, and there would be Russian troops in Kyiv. That's what we were told. More than 2 years later, at least half of the Russian military, as it existed in February of 2022, is gone, which is why Putin has had to rely on convicts and conscripts. A significant portion of the Russian Navy in the Black Sea has been wiped out. This has been a strategic success by any definition. And so those that want to convince the American people that the Ukrainian effort has been a failure are promoting Vladimir Putin's propaganda, because the facts say the exact opposite, which is why it's important for us to finish the job. It's a Churchill or Chamberlain moment.